Hey everyone, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I'm your host, Mikan.
And I am your host, Ichigo. What's up, guys?
Hey guys. Join us this week as we discuss cartoons we want to see turned into anime. Hey guys, what's up?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hopefully it's going good. You had a good week. So this week we're going to be talking about cartoons we want to see turned into anime. And this was kind of inspired by the Suicide Squad anime that they recently had.
hmm
So we thought it'd be fun to see what other cartoons you'd like to see as anime.
Yes. And as a reminder, we are 90s kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, American
Classic.
cartoons that we grew up on in the 90s,
Mostly,
which,
yeah.
yeah, mostly, which ones would be a really good anime if turned into an anime?
Ooh, this is exciting. I'm actually really curious to hear which ones you have.
I surprisingly didn't have too many
Okay.
because, well, yes and no. Because a lot of the cartoons that I grew up watching kind of had like an anime-esque feel to them.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like the original Teen Titans
Oh, that was on my list.
cartoon.
Yes.
Yes, I would love to see that turned 100% into an anime, but don't mess it up and make it an isekai. Like,
Y- yeah, no. That's the thing. The thing is, a lot of the ones I picked, I are like maybe actiony, but I want it to be darker, like in an anime
mm,
setting, but like darker, more bloody. Because I feel like anime tends to be like the age range tends to be a little bit more wider, and they're a little more free
hmm
when it comes to censorship and being a little more violent because it is catered toward, like, I would say anywhere from children to like adults.
right.
While I feel cartoons, at least in America, are maybe a little bit more catered toward children. While
hmm
now although they do have like grown up adult humor type cartoons, like
Right,
late night
right.
cartoons and stuff.
hmm I would
The
agree
Teen
with that, but I
Titans.
feel
Ooh.
like in the 90s, like, though we did have, and Cartoon Network did a really good job at this. Like, they had the cartoons where the shows itself also had like a not an adult feel to them, but they had like a little bit of a darker storyline sometimes.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
agree.
Teen Titans was like the number one show that you had your funny moments for kids, you had the fighting, the action pack, but then you also had like your really, I'll say, dark for kids that age, for that
Mhm.
age group, moments. And I think if it was turned into a full blown anime, it would be in my head in the shonen genre,
Yeah, it
and
definitely
kind
would.
of, yeah, but kind of be on the lines of like not as dark as Jujutsu Kaisen gets, but like kind
Mhm.
of going down that way. Now, if Mappa took over, then it's
Ooh,
100% going to be like dark.
imagine like
Yeah.
that, that'd be so cool. Anything relating to superheroes as well, like Marvel, DC, I feel like they can have a dark tone, like their cartoons, but imagine an anime style, like what they did with Suicide Squad, and they just take it and kinda roll with it and be a little bit more
Yeah.
grown, a little more violent, like, ooh, that'd be so good. So
Yes.
good.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you've been watching the Suicide Squad, the isekai, or if you've seen it yet. I've been watching some episodes, and at first I only watched it just to, if I'm going to be 100% honest, because I felt like I wasn't going to like it. So I was like, let me
Uh-huh.
just watch this so I can talk ish about it later
Yeah.
and tell everybody like why I don't like it. But surprisingly, it is interesting.
Ooh, I gotta
I
check it out.
it's interesting in the sense of like whoever created it really put some thought into it.
Okay.
Because in my head I was like, okay, Harley Quinn in an anime, she either gonna be like real crazy, like way higher above the Harley Quinn that like we all know,
Yeah.
like 10 steps too far, or she's going to be a little bit more subdued.
Mhm.
And the character, in my opinion, that we got is kind of like a good equal balance. Like she has her crazy moments, but then she also has her moments where she's like, "Aw, like we're all one big happy family.
Okay.
Like we're all friends. We're all like very nakayoshi." Like very, very,
Nakama power kinda
yeah, like
thing.
nakama power type thing, but she still gets crazy. And it's like you don't really know which side of Harley Quinn you're gonna get. And when I first started watching it, she reminded me of I can't remember the actress's name, but the actress that has most recently played Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movies. So
Okay, do you mean Margot Robbie?
yes, Margot
Okay, okay.
Robbie. Yes.
Barbie, yeah, AKA
Yeah,
also Barbie.
Barbie. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she had that good, like, mixture of totally, like, crazy, but also, like, like, kinda
Right.
cutesy and, yeah, aloof.
Right. And so they do depict um in the anime, in the Suicide Squad anime, they do depict her character really well. But I feel like cartoons like Teen Titans or another one that I really thought would be a good anime is Kim Possible.
Oh my god, that was that was my top pick.
Really?
Yes, that was the first one that came to mind when we, brought up this topic, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Kim Possible, absolutely," because just I really like the art style of Kim Possible, but
Yeah.
imagine in, like, full-on anime style, and, ooh, Shigo would look so cool too, and if it was much
Girl.
more, like, closer to, like, higher rated PG-13 and then rated R, like, esque,
Mhm.
where their fights were actual fights where they can get bloody and ooh, it would be so good, and their style would look so cool in anime version, and oh my god, it would look so
Yes.
good.
Quite honestly, I feel like Kim Possible, to me, if they turn it into an anime, might be somewhat on the Ghost in the Shell type
Yes, I feel you.
vibes. You know what I
I feel
mean?
you.
But I
Mhm.
feel like, and I really hate saying this, but I feel like they might overly sexualize Shigo's character.
Oh, they would, absolutely. I mean, she already looked really sexy as in the regular cartoon.
Mhm.
I feel like she would look so fire, though. It would be worth it. Like
It would be worth it, but I think that would be the number one thing that would bother me
mm.
because, we grew up watching and it's like, yeah, she's very attractive for a cartoon character, da da da. But at the same time, it's like, her chest doesn't need to be that like, come on now, yeah. Like,
Yeah, don't
but
make it crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that would be
agree. Like, as long as
crazy.
they make it similar, because even the cartoon is pretty she a bit curvy, you know?
She's very
Um,
curvy. She's not a little bit
yeah.
curvy. She's very
Yeah.
curvy.
But I feel like if they change that to anime, it would be pretty curvy. But as long as, like, she looks good, I'm like, "I'm okay, I'm down."
Yeah.
But, ooh, in that like, they're fighting actually be fighting, oh my god, it would be so good.
Mhm.
So good.
I would love to see a Kim Possible
That
anime.
is absolutely my top pick. And okay, I
Mhm.
could be delusional or crazy. I swear to God, like a few years back, I heard that there was like a possible Kim Possible anime coming out, like, but I don't think it went through. You guys let us know because I literally feel like I heard this somewhere and it was like
Mhm.
for real. But I could be crazy.
I had actually heard the same rumors.
Okay, good. I'm not the only
I don't know if it's true or not, but it could also be somebody out there trolling everybody.
probably
Um,
crushing our dreams.
because I wanna say with that, they also dropped concept art for Kim
Oh.
Possible's character, and
Mhm.
that's where I wanna say I was like, "Oh, I didn't know they were gonna turn this into an anime."
Mhm.
But I honestly don't know because I feel like where Disney has such a strong hold on a lot of their
Yeah.
cartoons, especially cartoons that came out in the 90s, that's gonna be harder for them to create and get the rights to create
Yeah, I
without
agree.
100% Disney coming in and trying to basically help, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, and they
Um,
would do it themselves, kind of. It's like, "Oh, this is
yeah,
ours." Yeah, I agree.
which I feel like if Disney created and did the anime, it might not be as good 100%, but
Yeah, it'll just be Americanized. I mean, because it will be
yeah,
for, like, it won't be for,
American
like, a Japanese
audiences.
audience. Yeah, it would be for an
Right.
American audience. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, going off on, like, the whole spy thing, I feel
Mhm.
Totally Spies?
Yes, I loved
Oh,
Totally Spies.
I want that in an anime version, also a grown-up version, like, ooh, the style, the fashion, it would look so cool. I
I
would love to see
feel
that.
like Totally Spies was one of those, like, kinda like Teen Titans, like, the animation style was already so close to anime for me
Mm.
that I think if they made Totally Spies into a full-blown anime, I would still love it.
Oh, yeah. No, I would really like it.
Totally Spies was like the Charlie's Angels for kids our age.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, like but if Japan were to take Totally Spies and kinda switch it up and add everything, I'm wondering would, like, Sam, Clover, and Alex all be in the same school? Because it wouldn't be as much as the fashion, like, we wouldn't get that aspect of it as we did here because Sam, Clover, and Alex, they were all high school students, so they got to make their own attire and just go to school just dressed
Yeah.
how not dressed however they wanted, but, like, still within the confines of their
That's kind of why I
rules.
want a grown-up version where they're kind of more closer to adults. They're just 3 spies, living their life.
I could get that, but that would be more so Charlie's Angel vibes
Yeah.
than it would be Totally Spies, in which case, if they're gonna do it Totally Spies, I would still want them to be high
Like
school
yeah, high school
students,
students. And, like, they can
but
have
I
different styles, though,
yes,
with their
high
school
school
uniforms and whatnot.
students well, no, I still want them to have, like, the school uniforms, but, like, they could all be have, like, a side career to where you still get to see the fashion sense,
Yeah, yeah, like, outside of
like
school. Or they, like, dress
right.
up their own, school uniform in totally different ways with their
Mhm,
colors and whatnot. That would
mhm.
be really cute.
Or, you know how, like, some anime, you have, like, the popular clique and they're popular in the school, they follow the school uniform regulations with a little bit of extra flair, but
Mhm.
then outside of school, they have, like, side jobs. So, like,
Yeah.
one may be a model, one may be an actress, one may be a singer, like,
Mhm.
if we're kinda doing it something like that, then we would see less of them in the school setting and more of them outside of the school setting, in which case that fashion sense would come out.
Yeah. I could see that. That'd be really cute.
But I don't know. Oh, if I'm thinking of another one that I kinda wanna see turned into an anime, because I
Mhm.
feel like it would be a comedy anime, kind of like a mix of Psyche K and Doctor Stone,
Okay.
Dexter's Laboratory.
I have that on my list too. Yes, I agree. A Japanese version where they have, like, yeah, a crazy boy, like, and his sister, and it just I feel like that'd be so cute.
Like, it would be the comedic aspect would be Psyche K,
Mhm.
and then all the scientific stuff would be Dr. Stone. The only thing about Dexter's Laboratory is, and we see this in a lot of American cartoons, a lot of cartoons were episode based. So they didn't
Yes,
follow a single
there's
storyline.
no full story. But I feel like that wouldn't be too hard, especially because like, something like Dexter's Laboratory is not you don't necessarily need, like, a super villain, like a final destination per se, but you could
Mhm.
have maybe, like, a little goal where it connects in a sense, or he's trying to, I don't know, take down some other kid or something like that,
It
and
would be
that's his little
Mandark.
goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is why I think it's very much more so like it would be on along the lines of Psyche K, where like Psyche K is a comedy anime where not all the episodes kind of follow the same storyline,
Yeah.
but essentially like towards the end of the seasons, I think there's 2 seasons. So towards the end of season 1, he has like a slight little goal where, you know, now there's a storyline rather than everything just being comedic. And then
Mhm.
the end of season 2, kind of the same thing. But all the
Yeah.
other episodes are more
Like sporadic and just
lighthearted,
like
sporadic.
episode based,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like there's some I do feel like that's more common in cartoons than in
Yeah.
anime. But I feel like they can make it work. Yeah, because I feel like those comedic or slice of life anime, it's not necessarily always the whole one, all these episodes connected to one story. So I feel like they could do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just thinking for the shows that I have in my head, besides the exception of like Teen Titans and even Kim Possible and occasionally Totally Spies, those all kind of follow a singular
Like
storyline.
singular storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and they sometimes have a deep meaning, but shows like Fairly Odd Parents, Dexter's
Hmm.
Laboratory, and even Rugrats, they're all
That was actually
sporadic.
one too. All, both of
Rugrats
those. Rugrats, but anime babies, like super cute.
sounds like school babysitters to me.
Yeah, but they're little, yeah, similar vibe, but they just do like, honestly, it probably basically is. That's the Japanese version.
Yeah. It's school babysitters. I actually did not put I thought about Rugrats, but I actually did not put Rugrats on my list
Hmm.
as an American cartoon I want to see in anime. And I think it's basically just because Rugrats will always just be an American cartoon that I will
Hmm.
enjoy. Like,
Hmm.
I understand that they revamped it. They've kind of done the CGI thing with it. It's not the same story
Oh no, I
line
agree.
at all. And I feel like if it was turned into an anime, it would pretty much be school babysitters. Um, or like a lot of the other like anime where it's geared towards babies and kids.
Babies, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think it's necessary to turn Rugrats into an anime. So I'm okay with passing on Rugrats. But Fairly Odd Parents, I actually think would be an interesting anime. And I feel like it would be one where, once again, it's like a comedic thing. Not all the episodes follow a same storyline. But I also feel like it might venture into isekai territory.
So I actually thought of Fairly Odd Parents, but I thought of it in a more twisted sense because in
Oh,
the whole story, Fairly Odd Parents is kind of messed up. The story itself, like if you think about it really hard, people have made up like weird,
theories.
yeah, about this show, and it does make sense. So I
Hmm.
feel like if they took it and they kind of animified it, basically making it twisted and messed up, not really horror, but kind of thriller esque
Hmm.
with the whole comedy as well, I feel like it would be really good.
Um, yes, I actually would love to see it as like a comedy, but Timmy's wishes get taken a step too far because of Cosmo and Wanda, and he ends up in an isekai where
We don't need any more isekais.
I know,
Don't be
but
adding no more.
I know, but I'm just thinking in terms of like if it actually was turned into an isekai, like Timmy accidentally made a wish. He's like, "Oh, I want to go." Like, let's say he's playing a video game and he's like, "Oh, I want to go. Like, I wish to go into a world like this," and he gets isekai'd, and then
You know
somehow Cosmo and Wanda's wands no longer work,
you
but they gotta go and
you know
fight.
what I
Like,
just thought
you see
of?
what I'm saying?
I feel like you're literally describing Doraemon. Is that not him?
Yes.
Like, he opens a door and then something happens or they get stuck and, like oh, yo, that is like the
Yes.
OG actually, if you think about it, that's kinda like the anime version of
Mhm. Very Odd
oh my
Parents.
god. Yeah, he makes his, like, wishes come true, and it kinda gets a little twisted.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, Fairly Odd Parents could do that. It could do that.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
that
But
would be interesting.
I don't know. When I think of
It's
Fairly Odd Parents being an anime, I don't know why, but for some reason I put it in the isekai category, but like a comedic.
why?
I
We
don't
don't need no more.
know.
No. No isekai. No, 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 no. They can travel to other worlds, but it's not
Yeah.
really isekai. That's not isekai. They just travel and then they like magically get back and then they travel to another world or they make another world for Timmy, like stuff like that. Like Doraemon.
I just want to see them
No
get trapped in the
isekai.
isekai.
No, 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 no. We don't
And
need
let's
any
say
more of those.
Cosmo and Wanda get separated somehow, and like the main goal is that Timmy, let's say Timmy gets stuck with Cosmo, and so now they are on a quest to go find Wanda because they need both of their magic wands in order to undo Timmy's wish of them getting isekai'd.
I mean, that can be an arc, but I don't want the whole story to be an isekai. It's just an arc, okay? Just one challenge, one obstacle.
I think it would
Okay.
be a
No, 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 no.
hilarious isekai.
See, that's another thing. I feel like a lot of cartoons, they're based on comedy, the
Mhm.
genre. But I feel like because of a lot of the comedy is based on, I guess, having an American background, I feel a lot of
Mm.
them would not translate really well.
No.
So it would have to be have to take a different take for it to sort of flow, right? Because one I
Mhm.
thought of is Recess,
Ah,
and
yeah.
that, but just like a Japanese version during their
That
free period or whatever they want to call it.
But that's not gonna translate well because not a lot of Japanese schools, I don't think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, have a recess period where they go outside to play.
No, I think like kids do. It depends on what age range, but also they have lunch.
Mm.
They have like recess was like lunch for us. So they have like a lunchtime. But yeah, the comedy and whatnot, it'll have to be translated into like a Japanese setting, if that makes sense.
I feel like that one might be a little bit more of a stretch just because of the differences in the cultures when it comes to
Oh
school.
yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be done, but I think they're gonna find more difficulty in making that an anime.
Yeah, it will have like it can't be fully translated. It would have
Mhm.
to totally be differently stylized,
Right.
where it's literally a Japanese version of Recess.
In which case, we do have some slice of life shows that could possibly fit that recess category
Mhm.
because it's like just high school kids having fun at school or middle school kids having fun at school,
Yeah.
but it still would not, to me, be like a revamp into anime type story because it's gonna be so much of a stretch between the two cultures.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Oh, that's another question actually. So when you think of like it being anime, but
mhm.
do you mean like just the art or like because for me, I think of completely different stories. Like they just take the concept art and maybe some of the story and then they just make it into an anime. They take like the base formula and then totally transform it.
So when I think of American cartoons into anime, I think of Japan seeing these American cartoons, seeing how successful they were. So for example, like they did with Lilo and Stitch, they have a Stitch anime that Japan created that ran
Mhm.
for I think like a couple of seasons. Or the Powerpuff Girls, where
Yeah.
Japan picked it up and kind of turned it into, well, I don't want to say kind of, they did turn it into an anime, and that was called what, Powerpuff Girls
I think
Z
it
or
was
something
yeah,
like that.
Z.
So kind of that concept where Japan is taking an interest in American cartoons and not just the art style, but kind of bringing it into their culture and changing it so that it matches their culture
Yeah. So yeah,
and
that's
turning
what
it
I also
into an
think.
anime. Yeah. That's how I've been basing which American cartoons I think is better into an
Mhm.
anime off of that information. So that's why I think, like, for me personally, shows like Teen Titans, Dexter's Laboratory, Kim
Ooh.
Possible would be
Uh,
good candidates for
yeah, it
anime.
would like change. I would also like I know Avatar is basically
Anime-esque.
very anime-esque, but I would like
Yeah.
it full on Japanese anime style because I feel like to me the base story is already really good.
Mhm.
But if they take that and then they full on make it into an anime, I feel like it would be perfection. It'd be such a good shonen.
I would agree with that. Um, to a certain degree, because it's created with an American audience in mind. I feel like with those stories, even if they were made into anime, with the exception of Teen Titans, because I feel like that would be a really good anime, they would still have to change quite a bit of the storyline in order for it to match a Japanese audience.
Oh yeah, no, I want a new story, that's the thing. I want, like, the base concept still there, but I would
Hmm.
like for all of them to have, like, new stories because I want, like, a grown version, you know? Like, Kim Possible would have to be totally different. Even Teen
Right.
Titan, because I want it to be darker, I want blood, I want real fights where people are getting stabbed, people are dying, like, for real, for
Mm,
real. Um, so I would like a grown version because I feel like that's what anime particularly would probably do to a lot of these stories, especially if they're not catered if they fit in more of like a shonen genre, they'd be
mm.
more like high risk, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I feel like once you start changing the storyline, especially for anime fans, excuse me, especially for anime fans that grew up on these cartoons in the 90s, and let's say they do decide to revamp them as we get older, you don't have as big as an audience for these shows. Like shows like Avatar is so iconic that I know
Oh,
if
yeah.
people were to create it into an anime and change the storyline, all hell would break loose.
Well, Avatar was actually
Like,
pretty I would say is one of, like, the more grown because there was a little bit more high risk. I do believe, like, people
mhm.
died and whatnot, you know?
Yeah,
So it was definitely closer to what I would say anime was, as a cartoon.
right.
So the storyline could still be the same. I'm just like, vamp up the art a bit, you know, in the fight scenes. Ooh, that'd be so
Yeah,
good.
I think it would be cool to see it in more of an anime-esque art style as long as the storyline that stays the same. I think that would be interesting to see, but, um, there are some risks into turning anime American cartoons into anime, and some of those risks we see with shows like Stitch and Powerpuff Girls Z. Like, although they were American cartoons originally, Japan got a hold of them, created them, and I don't think they did as well as an anime as I think Powerpuff Girls Z did better than Stitch did. But when Japan got a hold of Stitch, it was kind of like they changed this. Well, they kind of changed almost the whole storyline.
Yeah, because they had a new character. They didn't
They
have Lilo,
had
right?
they had Lilo in
Did they have
maybe
Lito?
1 or 2 episodes, but she's
Okay.
grown. It's set in Okinawa,
Mhm. I
and
see.
they never fully explain. I think they do, but I can't remember. They never fully explain how Stitch ended up leaving Lilo, and he's now in Okinawa with this other little girl.
Mhm.
But they actually have Lilo in, like, visiting Okinawa. It was a real stretch, and I'm like, they coulda just kept Lilo, and we coulda just watched Lilo grow up with Stitch.
Mm. I
You
think
see what
there's
I
always
mean?
different, takes to it because, 1, they either take the characters that are beloved and then just throw them in, like, their own Japanese universe, or they
Mhm.
just kind of revamp it, or they, like, take the more so, like, not just like, just the concept of the story. So I feel like they could go 3 ways, and I guess it just depends on, like, 1, what they're allowed to do, and 2, what they want to do.
Right. That's true. But I feel like there's so many, cartoons that I think would be really good if turned into an anime. As long as, like, the storyline doesn't drastically change so much.
Mhm. I don't know, I wouldn't mind because I feel like if it's already been done, then I'm like, "Why am I just watching a revamp?" You know?
Well,
Unless
I
it's really
mean,
old. Then I'm like, "Okay,
yeah.
I get a revamp." But if it's, like, just literally a few years ago it ended and then
Mm,
they want to make it an anime, I'm like, "Okay, I could take another different story."
right.
But it would really depend though, like, it would just depend how well it's done, honestly.
Yeah. But I feel like my top pick right now would probably be Teen Titans.
Okay. I'm team Kim Possible. I mean, that sounds good. I think
Yeah.
those two would be really good.
Yeah.
But you guys let us know which cartoon would you guys like to see as an anime? Would you guys like to see it just redone in an anime style, or would you like the story to be like fully changed? Also, let us know if we're being absolutely delusional about the Kim Possible anime news. Like, was that a real thing? Because I need to know.
I do too,
And
because I
right?
wanna watch it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've done it. I think it was just like news, and then they just never went through with it. But let us know because I'm honestly really curious. And as always, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Anime Sekai Podcast. And we will see you next week. Also, FYI, we are planning to go on a break soon, but regarding that, we'll have more information for you guys next week. So make sure to stay tuned. Um,
Yes.
hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode, and we shall see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
See ya.